happened was, so I started, like, when I looked at the amount of her mortgage, and I always say this, my car payment was more than her mortgage payment. But I also realized her mortgage payment is giving her an asset. And that's when she's the one who recommended I go read that book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I read it and I was like, that was the first time the difference between an asset and a liability became so clear for me. And then since then, it's just that, you continue to learn and learn and learn. And now I've gotten at a point in my life where when COVID hit last year, I thought I have all of this knowledge. And I was speaking to one of my mentors and he suggested, why don't you put it all in a course? And that's where I created an online course called the No Money Down Academy.
Hey my loves, welcome back to another episode of the Positive Vibes show designed to make you happier and stronger every day. So I'm Alice, I'm a life coach, YouTube creator, theater actress, and I'm really willing to become your friend as well. So in today's episode, we have invited a very special guest. She's called Sadhana. And she is a single mom millionaire with 3 sons. She used to be a full law clerk and an enthusiastic real estate investor. So, over the past decade of investing in real estate, she has bought over 30 different properties, including single-family homes, duplexes, 4-plex, 5-plex, etc. And she enjoys having a positive cash flow from her properties. And this is why today she's gonna share some secrets about how she built this wealth and how she built this mindset of becoming a single mom but a millionaire. So let's welcome all together Sadhana. Hello Sadhana. Thank you so much for being with us today, and welcome to the Positive Vibes Only with Alice. So can you tell us a little bit more about you so that the community gets to connect with you and gets to know you better?
Yes, thank you, Alice, for inviting me. I'm so happy to meet you and obviously your people after that. I just feel like this world has become such a small place for me to be sitting on a podcast with somebody in Paris, France. It's just crazy. I've met so many people from far away as well because of my work now that I'm doing. And it's basically leads to financial freedom for single women. So when I say that, I'll give you a bit of my story. And then we could go deep into it, however deep you want to go.
Perfect.
Is that I became a single mom about 20 years ago. My ex left me for somebody else. All the power to him. God bless him. God bless her. God bless their children. I'm not interested. Yeah. But I think that's where the whole thing started for me. And I feel like the positiveness and the strength that I drew from my children is where I am today. And I think that's what makes me grateful to be where I am. I've got 3 boys and they've gone on to business schools, medical schools, and I just am so proud of them. At the same time, I also want to say I'm a little proud of myself too for having supported them on this journey.
Amazing. Yeah, you seem to be an amazing mom. This is really great. Yeah, and how did you get to think about, becoming free and being an independent woman? Because, the world we are living in right now, many women, personally, I love being independent and I love having my own freedom. So how did you get into this, freedom thing?
So what happens is, I think, first of all, if we were to ask 100 people, I think 100 out of 100 people would say, you know what, I would love to be financially free because then you can do whatever you want to do, not because you have to do it, but because you want to do it, right? So that's a given. So then for me, my quest became when I realized that when my ex left, my kids were 9, 11, and 13-ish.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like, okay, now all of a sudden they're growing older, they're in high school and they're going to university. And I was like, if these kids go to, not if, I shouldn't say if, when they go to university, I have a lot of expenses coming up. So I better figure this out, because my ex was not supporting me at the time. Not now either, but still. So I had to figure out and find different ways to bring more money into my household. And that's where I got into real estate. So this one client came to my office. She was renewing a mortgage on one of the property. I don't know if it's called a mortgage, their loan. I don't know. Like when you buy a house, you could get a loan from the bank. So
you could get a loan.
Is it same loan? Okay.
Yeah, it's a loan.
So here it's called a mortgage in North America. So
I've read it in Rich and Poor Dad.
Oh, you read
there.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I love
one of the
Robert
best books you could
Kiyosaki.
read. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, keep going.
So then what happened was, so I started, like when I looked at the amount of her mortgage, and I always say this, my car payment was more than her mortgage payment. But I also realized her mortgage payment is giving her an asset. And that's when she's the one who recommended I go read that book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I read it and I was like, that was the first time the difference between an asset and a liability became so clear for me. And then since then, it's just that, you continue to learn and learn and learn. And now I've gotten at a point in my life where when COVID hit last year, I thought I have all of this knowledge. And I was speaking to one of my mentors and he suggested, why don't you put it all in a course? And that's where I created an online course called the No Money Down Academy. And now that's what I'm working towards. So what I did was, because I didn't have any money, I figured out ways how to buy property with no money.
Wow,
and
this is amazing.
That's where my journey began, yes. And I mean, from then to now, I've bought and sold over 30 properties.
Wow. Oh my God. Oh, I wish I could do that too. Well, I can. Yeah. I will absolutely do it one day. And I really think that I'm starting to invest in cryptos, and I've already started, but going slowly and learning stuff. So the world of investing is really huge.
You're very young.
Of course. Yeah.
You have a long way.
Yeah. So talking about mindset, I know when you got started, I'm pretty sure that you had doubts, you had imposter syndrome, you had so many ideas popping up, just thinking that you cannot do it, you cannot make it. So how did you deal with everything? Maybe society was there too, telling you, Sadhana, this isn't a great thing. You're just going to lose your money. You're just going to lose your time and stuff. So how did you manage this? How was your mindset, and how did you build it?
Okay. So for me, I think at the beginning, when I started to invest in real estate, is when I got all of those comments from my family, my friends, everybody. It's like, what are you doing? Because there were times when I was working at my stuff for 12 midnight or waking up at 4 a.m, driving for 7 hours and then getting my work done in another city altogether and being home for 8 o'clock for the kids for dinner.
Yeah.
So when I look at all of that, I remember my family saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? And now the tables have turned because I've done so many. I have to say, even though none of them will admit it, all of them have bought real estate because of what I have learned and taught them. So each and every sibling of mine has bought real estate and made money. I would say maybe even more than me, because I was working with no money. They have money, so they obviously have a better start than I do. But the concepts that I teach and I've also shared with them are just amazing, because when you think about property, hardly ever do you think about positive cash flow. I buy properties for positive cash flow. So when I taught them that, you realize that that's what it's all about. It's not about just paying the bills on a property. Yes, the property will pay off itself in 25 years or 30 years, whatever, depending on your mortgage. However, if you're getting a positive cash flow every month, be it $500 from every property you own, now you're enjoying the fruits of that labor even right now, as opposed to 25 years later.
Yeah, absolutely.
That makes sense?
Oh yeah, I've got it. I don't know if you guys got it, but I do. It's just that when you have a loan or a mortgage, as you said, when you rent the house out, that money is going to come back to you and with interest. So you get to pay your mortgage and at the same time get money for yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, I've learned that from Robert Kiyosaki.
Yes, that's it. Your income from the property is more than the expenses for the property, and therefore the difference is your positive cash flow.
Wow. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, you're the expert. You don't know better.
Well, I can tell you that I am actually financially free from my real estate investing.
Oh my God. This is super amazing and exciting at the same time. I do see myself doing this, and I always think about investing in real estate, and yeah, because I've seen it everywhere and people are just feeling free. It's just powerful.
It is.
And
it is. I think if you become an expert on one strategy, that's really all you need, because then you just rinse and repeat, unless you get bored and then you want to just be totally dramatic and totally different and totally drastic. Go for it. You only live once, so go and do it. Whatever that one thing is, go and do it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm going to try it out. Why not? I really think about that. And I've asked you about your mindset at the beginning. How did you manage those, difficulties that you had? Because really starting a real estate business is a little bit hard at the beginning, and you get ups and downs every time. So how did you manage this?
So the mindset piece, I guess I didn't answer that. So what happens is, when your why is so big and staring at you in front of you, you have no choice.
Here.
Yes, you have no choice but to go ahead and follow that. Because I have 3 boys. They're growing. They're going to university now. They're going to go into higher education. I better have some plan for that.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what happened. My kids became my why. And as I was saying,
exactly.
Before we started,
I figured it out.
I have 3 boys. 2 of them have, one's finished his medical school. Second one is in medical school. And the third one has done his MBA from one of the top 5 management schools.
Perfect. Wow. Oh my God. You really did well with your kids. And this is all thanks to your mindset.
They did it all. They are the ones.
Oh yeah, but they had a mom who supported them.
Yes, the point, yes. But I'll tell you one thing. I have never gone to university. So for me, I have lived with this limiting belief all my life that I am not smart because I didn't go to university.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
So now, when my kids were going to university, I was doubly wanting them to do it, because for me, it was also a personal achievement. Absolutely. That my kids are going to higher education, because I'm like a grade 12 and 2 years of college. I mean, I don't really consider that educated. Yes, I may be smart, but I think also your circumstances make you smart too. So I am no more smarter than any one of you out there. Yeah. I'm exactly the same as anyone else. My circumstances just put me in the fire, and I had no choice but to survive. So many times we say, oh my God, please don't give me any difficulties. Instead, maybe we could ask God, give me the wisdom to handle those difficulties.
Yeah, exactly.
And
the wisdom is needed.
The mindset.
Yeah. You just reminded me of my mom. She didn't go to university as well, She really wanted us to go to university. She pushed us and she did her best to make us who we are today. I do have like one brother. My brother didn't go to university. It was his choice. She did her best as well, but he didn't want to. And my two other sisters. So I do understand now that you talked about this. Like you just made me aware that my mom maybe suffered from the same thing as well. And I just want to say thank you, Mom, for everything that you did. And you guys too, say thank you for all your moms and parents who did their best for you. Because as you can see from the story of Sadhana, we can relate and get to know that moms do sacrifice a lot for us. Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing this. I know this is so personal, but it really is going to motivate a lot of people out there. But, okay, so can you tell us about more about how to start investing, maybe how you can get into the world of investing?
Okay. So one of the things I do is I work full-time at a law office, okay? Even though some people think, oh, maybe it's easier for her because she works at a law office. So I was going to tell you a story here.
Yeah.
I have been working in the field of law all my life, let's call it, okay? Ever since I was a teenager, blah, 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 blah. However, until that woman came into that office of where I was working at the time, I didn't know anything about investing. I knew about mortgages. I knew that I could, if I had extra money, I could lend it to somebody and I could get interest on it.
Yeah.
But I had no clue about investing. So until I met her, I didn't know. Now, then the second thing was that I didn't have any money. Now, how do you approach that? So going back to that woman in the story, I asked her so many questions when she came in, like literally it should have taken 10 minutes, but I took like half an hour of her time just asking questions. Right? I think she probably got fed up and said, okay, just come to my house on Tuesdays. I'm starting a real estate club and then, we'll talk over there. So I said, yes. Yeah. So she had just started a real estate club. And I think we used to meet every Tuesday, like $10 or $20 we used to pay just to for coffee and muffin or something. And then we would all just basically brainstorm as to how to do this. So that's where I started my real estate investing career. So the first thing I could tell the listeners out there is see if there is a meetup group around you. Just one of those meetup meetings and meeting up and stuff about real estate and start learning. Now, the number 2 thing that will come out of that. So the first one is your knowledge. So you're going to get that out of all of those meetup groups. The second thing you're going to get out of that is, then this is very personal again, is that you're going to get to meet a lot of other people who are also interested in what you're interested in. Absolutely. So now, let's say I have the capacity to, let's say, find deals, okay? Now, you meet somebody else who maybe doesn't know how to analyze a property and maybe they have the money for the down payment.
Yeah.
Now you put yourselves together and you go buy a property together. Is that making sense?
Yeah, it is.
So now me not having any money doesn't matter because now I've got somebody else here who's got the money.
Exactly.
Does it make sense? So this is how I started. So once you do one, it's like, holy shish, this works. Oh my God, this works. And I remember in the beginning, I used to sleep, like I'm still old school, like, notebook, pen, calculator, all of that. Like,
Same, me too.
Oh, okay, cool. Generally speaking, it's like everything is talk and like, you record it or on the, I don't get that.
I love writing.
I used to sleep with a notebook and a pen. And then what happened was, so every night I would wake up and you remember I was saying about anxiety and stuff like this can't be happening. This is not right. It doesn't seem possible. Like, you buy a property, the income is more than the expenses and I'm getting money back. What? Doesn't make sense.
What?
Like,
you don't believe it.
You don't. And I'm telling you, that is one of my light bulb on moments because I realized this is possible. And so then, like I said, I bought a triplex with a lady, and she brought in the down payment from her line of credit. So it was really a no money down for her as well. So no money, I will explain what no money down means as well. So then she brought in the down payment money, and she was able to qualify for the mortgage, and we bought a duplex together. Duplex means two people, like separate units, right?
Yeah, 2 floors or.
So yes. So once you do one, it's like, okay, let's make it happen again. And then I did another one where I did it with a vendor take back mortgage. Like, I asked the seller to give me a mortgage, and he said, okay, if you put in X percentage, I will give you the difference as a loan. So I don't have to go to the bank and qualify. Now I go to the seller and say, can you loan me the money? And it's like, yeah. I was like, what? Like, it's just like, and then I went to a family member and I borrowed the money for the down payment. And I had the seller financing. All I had to come up with some closing costs, which was like about $3,000. But I had a property that was cash flowing $900 a month. Like, it just cannot get any better. So now you start to think about all of those things. Your brain will start to think, okay, if I can do it this way, now what? If I can do this way, now what? Now, if I could do it this way too.
Absolutely.
And your brain, your mind will start to give you answers to those questions. Just ask the right questions of your mind, because mind won't give you the answers that you're looking for. You have to ask the appropriate questions.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I get so passionate when I talk about this. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I get it. No, it's really okay. I really love the way you're explaining things, and oh my God, this is so amazing. But you said you're going to explain what is the no down money thing.
Okay. So no money down is basically using other people's money. So when I said to you, for instance, I met that lady at one of the meetup groups with that same lady. So I didn't have the money, but I used other people's money. So in other words, I used that lady's money. We used that lady's money to buy a property and to be able to rent it out. And then we've owned it for about 11 years. We're just looking to sell it now. So that's one thing. Yes. And it's more than doubled in price in 10 years.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So all of that is one. And then, so other people's money means, this is how I explain it. So I don't have to have a stash of cash to go buy a property. Anytime I don't need to have cash in my hand is no money down. So that no money or other people's money could be the loan from the bank. It could be a line of credit that you have. And it could be also money. I've actually used my property manager's line of credit. I have used Home Depot, which is like, credit cards to buy supplies and all of that stuff.
Yeah, sure.
I have also used my coworkers' money, like I borrowed on a promissory note. I'm assuming everybody knows what a promissory note is, like, promise to pay. A promise to pay, just like a loan.
Okay.
I promise to pay you this much money per month with the interest, blah, 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 blah. So I've used my coworkers' money. I gave her interest, of course. So all I'm trying to say is there's so many different ways of using other people's money that even if I did not have the money, I could still go ahead and do those deals.
And everyone can do it, right? Like you don't have to have a qualification or...
Well, I just told you I'm not in your
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my. Yeah. I think this is really interesting. Like I'm really, when I'm listening to you, I just start to think, okay, I'm going to ask my bank to loan me, like to make a loan and go buy, I don't know, just my head is starting to work.
Yes. And that's all it's about. Remember, I'm only here to stir something up. I always feel one of the quotes that I love, absolutely love is, when a student is ready, a teacher will appear. So I'm not going to stand here in front of you and say, I'm teaching you this. You will be stirred by something I have said. And therefore, that will cause you to think, and that will cause you to take action, and that will cause you to visualize and all of that stuff. And then eventually the goal will be there.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. And I was gonna ask you something. Oh my God, I lost the question, but I think it is related. Oh yeah, I just remembered. It is related. Like, do the things you teach apply to every single country? Like, do they apply to someone? For example, you said you live in Canada. Do they apply to someone living in France, United States, United Kingdom? I don't know, Australia, or anywhere in the world?
I have done podcasts in each and every country that you mentioned right now. So what I always say is that I am teaching you concepts. I am not teaching you something that 1 + 1 is 2. I'm teaching you different ways of looking or putting together that 1 + 1. It's always going to add up to 2, yes. But I'm giving you different scenarios on how that's possible. So it's absolutely possible in any country, because again, I'm going back to the concepts. It's like saying, I'm just trying to figure out an example. Like, do pants and shirts, is that everywhere, or is it only valid in North America, right? So those are, again, like a way to dress yourself. And that's just one of the ways to dress yourself. So with real estate, what I've done is different scenarios, different strategies, techniques that I have used in buying and selling so many properties, that I feel anyone that wants to do it. Because I mean, there's a lot of people who will find excuses. And I think, again, the same thing for me. I did in the beginning. I would be like, oh my God, who's going to give me a mortgage? Single mom, making a single income, 3 kids, 3 dependents. But once you come outside of that box, it's open season. You just got to get outside of that box.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest part. Once you come out of there is no stopping you. What's to say you can't buy a house in France versus in United States and in Canada and in Australia? Like I have a student from Australia who is doing my program. And also I have so many students from the USA. I actually haven't started advertising in USA. That's my next step. I just want to make sure that I serve my own country, Canada, before I go and do it in the US.
You're right. Yeah. Yep. But I was thinking, like, when you want to get started with this real estate investing and business, so what do they have to do first? Like, maybe where can they meet people that they want to invest like them, like people with whom they can share things? As you mentioned before, you said you bought a duplex with someone. So
okay, so one of the things I also said is that go search the local meetup groups in your area that have to do with real estate.
Oh, okay.
Remember I said that?
So yeah, I didn't hear it, maybe.
No. Everybody in that room is interested in real estate. I have met contractors. I have met joint venture partners. I have met hard money lenders. I have met people I could do business together with. I have met people that I have loaned money to, all in those meetup groups. Now, one of the things, and one of the things that I would also like to add here is, so it's not about going to one place one time. You continually have to be there to build that trust. Because if people see you there 20 times, 30 times, 8 times, they're going to feel like, oh yeah, I remember seeing her there. Oh yeah, I remember seeing her there. It's not going to be like a one-time thing and they don't see you for 6 months. It's like, oh, who are you? Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I said absolutely. Go ahead.
Yes. So the second tip I could give you is, so let's even say there are meetup groups in your area. What you could also just ask them if they hold events and stuff. and maybe you could be a volunteer at their events. So now you're getting a chance to work directly with the organizer, and now that person would acknowledge you at the end saying, hey, these people showed up early and they helped arrange with the program and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Now, instead of you meeting 200 people have just met you.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, this is a good tip. Yeah, it's really easy, and doing simple actions that are going to get you in the industry of real estate and everything.
Yes.
Yeah. So you said that you had a program, No
Yes.
Money Down program, that is teaching people how to get started in the business. Can you tell us more about this? Maybe the community is going to be interested in real estate. Well, I'm sure that they are going to be afraid first. We all do feel afraid when it gets to working hard to get something. But as you said, whenever you have a why, which is stronger than anything else, you really have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a single person, a single mom, a married woman, I don't know, just go and do it. Yeah.
Just do it.
Just do it. Yeah.
Just do it. I think it's just, you have to do it. Really, there is no other way. The program that I came up with was, okay, so as during COVID, when everybody was sitting home, so was I. And what happened was, because I've been doing real estate investing for over 12 years now, and also I've been working at a law office, working on files that are honestly real estate for the last 25 years, so all I did was I packaged all of my information. Mm-hmm. So this is how I thought about it, actually. Let me say it this way. All the questions that I had when I started learning about real estate, I answered all of those questions in my program.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. So now imagine all the knowledge, all the experience, all the things I should avoid or couldn't avoid and learn and mistakes from is now in my program that I've answered everything in. And it is basically it's called the No Money Down Academy. In that, I've gone through everything on how I found deals, how to have the correct mindset, how to analyze a property that you know that it's going to give you positive cash flow, so you don't just go buy it without doing your work on it. Also, how to analyze, how to find the money, how to make it a no money down deal for you. I've gone through my case studies of how I made my deals no money down.
Yeah, okay. It's a very rich program, I think. And what about telling us more about the mindset part? I'm really interested more in how to build the right mindset and stuff like that.
Well, my very first chapter actually in the program, which is again called the No Money Down Academy, and you can just go to www.thenommoneydownacademy.com. It's simple. So mindset, the first module on there is about mindset. And the reason I make that the first one is because really I believe for any human being to be successful, it's 90% mindset and 10% skill set. So if you have the right mindset, you're going to be successful because the techniques are there, yes. So now, for instance, the one thing that I always think about is, what is your relationship with money? What does money invoke in you? When you think about money, what kind of emotions stir up inside of you? So in that module, I have put in exercises where you're basically talking about free writing your emotions towards money.
Yeah.
Just take a pace.
Yeah, because the majority of people are afraid when it comes to money. They just think that money is bad. Money can make them guilty. And I've noticed this with a lot of my clients.
There's a lot of negative emotions around money.
And these are limiting beliefs, simply. You can make, you can be the slave of money, and you can make money your slave.
Okay, I'm not going to say slave, but what I
Yeah.
say is money is my best friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, like I said it this way because people think that they can be slaves of money.
Yes.
And when working, just, selling your time to get money is just you being the slave to get money. Whereas you can make money your best friend.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it all starts, as you said it before, with talking about your emotions about money, like with money. Sorry. Yeah.
So that for me is the most important piece. So out of all the modules, yes, the 6 are all about real estate, but the first and foremost is, in my opinion, the most important is that let's work on your money mindset. What is your money story? Let's get rid of those emotions first, because now whatever you create from that is all positive and goes back to your positive vibes only.
Yeah.
Because we don't want those negative emotions. We don't want that emotions of stress. So, I mean, before I created my program, I did a lot of research as well. So one of the things that question is like, how do you feel about money? So for instance, let's say people say, oh my God, I feel so stressed. Oh my God, rent is due. Oh my God, my son needs a new pair of shoes. Oh my God, I need to go make the car payment. Oh my God, I don't have enough. I don't have enough. Money grows, or all those things that we've heard in the past about money doesn't grow on trees. Money is evil. Rich people are evil. All of those thoughts. Now, let's just take one example. I feel like you're writing money.
Yeah, I'm writing ideas, like I'm starting a YouTube channel. So you just gave me an idea. So I'm writing it down.
So
writing money mindset.
Yes. Yeah. So for me, I feel like if I can say that money is important, money is my friend, money is my best friend, money is amazing, I love money, all of those positive affirmations that I say towards money. Now imagine if you are money and I'm telling you, you're evil, you don't grow on trees, you're not helping me, I need more of you, I lack, where am I coming from?
I need to work hard to get you. Oh, yeah.
Yes. Right? So now let's change that emotion to say, oh my God, you're my best friend. You're always around for me. Thank you so much. I love you. You're so easy to talk to. You're so just whatever makes that piece more pleasurable, more admirable towards money is what's going to get you to that final destination, whatever that destination is for you. For me, real estate was the vehicle that I used to get my kids through school, because I know how expensive it is for a child to go to university. I have a coworker who did a program in law, and she did it, I'm going to say probably 12 years ago, 13 years ago. And she's still paying her student loans. And that was one thing I did not want for my children. So I did the best I could so that their debt would not be this big. Maybe it's this big.
Yeah.
And that's where, now when I think about money, yes, in the beginning when my ex left, it was like, oh my God, I have no money. He's not supporting me. He can't afford, right? And then as you go, learn personal development and have different ideas about what you are capable of doing, your mindset shifts. Now I think, oh my God, I create money all the time. But my problem, and I'll tell you this is a problem, is I create money as much as I need. And then once that need goes away, my money tap goes away. I need to create more need so I can have more inflow.
More money.
Say, I want to have $500,000 in my bank account. I want to travel the world. I want money to be available for me whenever I need it.
Yeah, it's one of the things that help in having the right money mindset is that you need to be specific. Just saying that I want to have a lot of money, it isn't being specific. Like the universe doesn't know how much you need, so that it can send it your way. Yeah, it's all about law of attraction once again. Yeah. maybe you read about Bob Proctor, like you watch his videos, and yeah, so it's exactly the same thing. Like you just have to shift your paradigm, because now like people are programmed that they need to work so hard to get money from to their bank accounts, and as soon as they get money they gotta spend it on the rent, pay the bills, pay everything they need to pay their loans even maybe, and the money is gone.
Yep. So that's where now, if you change that mindset, your brain is going to give you ideas that will support that mindset.
Yeah. And so one of the tips you just gave us is that you need to write down what are your emotions towards money, right?
Definitely. That's one of the exercises actually in my program.
Wow. And what can like people do else than that to have a good mindset about like money?
Well, like I said, for me, that's actually the most important thing. Secondly, I always feel like I'm a very positive person.
Yeah, you are. I feel your vibes. Positive vibes.
See, for me, I always feel instead of looking for negative in any situation, I look for the positive. Because for me, I would rather focus on that. And it's not that the negative will disappear, but it will not be as prominent. Right? Mm-hmm. So for me, that's also one of the things that and the third thing I'm going to say to you is that I'm very careful with what I speak. As soon as you said, treat money as slave, did I acknowledge that? No. I said to you, I think of money as my best friend.
As a best friend.
Think of it as slave.
Yeah, you're right.
So I am very consciously aware of what I'm speaking out into the universe.
Yeah, of course. We have to pay. This is what I teach too in my program. Like I really teach my clients to watch out what they say. Like their negative sentences affect their life in a way or in another. And it's the same thing when it comes to money. Yeah, I wasn't right saying like make it your slave, but it was
no, but I'm just
kind
giving
of a comparison.
I totally get what you were saying, but I'm just giving you an example. Exactly. Of how you have to be careful with what you say. Yes, you use it as an example. I'm not picking on that. I'm just giving you a very example because
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. And it is all about changing the way you see money and changing your emotions towards it. And I wonder about something. Like for sure, when you started your real estate business and everything, you got challenges. You met obstacles. So yeah, so people
may hear about my crying fits at night or going to my mommy. Yeah. Mommy, I need help.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Okay, so first I'm going to say to you, nothing comes without challenges. Even this life is a challenge, right? Yeah. I mean, a baby is born, it has to come through so much to take their first breath on their own. Exactly. And whether it's me as a real estate investor, whether you as a podcaster or being a life coach, I'm sure we've all struggled to get to where we're at, right?
Absolutely.
So my life was no different. And like I said to you, and not to mention all of those thoughts that play in your background. And not just the thoughts, that's just one piece. Then you have your family speaking in your mind as well. Like, oh, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Why are you leaving your kids at home? Why are you going to real estate courses all the time? Why? So when you put all of that together, those are all challenges that we have to live with. Like even today, not every deal you walk into is going to work out smoothly. You're going to have differences. You're going to have challenges. You're going to have to learn to basically figure things out. It's like you said about you're building a YouTube channel. I'm sure you're having to figure a lot of things out.
Of course. Yeah, I needed to make like a very big program and schedule for everything. It takes a lot of courage and time and scheduling.
Yeah. Right. So it's the same thing. So I've had challenges. Yes. Remember I said to you, I used to sleep with a notepad and a calculator and a pen on the other side of my bed. Was all because I was just in disbelief, number one. that this could happen. Number two, there were times when I was renovating certain places, the expenses went out of whack and it didn't make sense anymore, but you still have to finish the project. And yes, I have gone to my mother for help a couple of times, and that's fine. Because I mean, at the end of the day, guys, everybody is looking at you either to succeed or to fail.
Yeah,
so
sure.
You want to make sure you have that positivity around you so you can succeed, because when those people who are critiquing you now will be your biggest supporters after you've done a couple of projects. Like now that I've done so many, I know I have a lot of people around me. If I get into trouble, we'll call it, I don't really like to use that word, a challenge that I'm faced with, I know I can go to certain people and I know I can sort this out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. Absolutely. They get to build like a trust in you, and they get to trust you because they've seen where you at and where are you at right now. Mm-hmm. And you have proven yourself that you really get to where you want to get to. Yeah. And something else I want to ask you about is like, how did you manage, how did you manage to establish a certain harmony between your, role as a mom and handling all the responsibilities out there to your role as an entrepreneur, a boss woman, and everything?
So when my ex-husband left, and I became, let's call it a real estate investor. I don't think I'm an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur to me is like, just worldly problems, right? Problems that exist for 30 billion people or 10 billion people. So I'm not there. I'm still a tiny little fish, but I'm happy to do my part. Now, I think one of the things I have to say that I regret is that when I became a real estate investor, and because I was doing a lot of the things or most of the things because I wanted to make sure my kids were supported for when they go to university, I think I forgot how to be a mom and I became a provider.
Oh, okay.
So that's where I still feel like I wish I could go back and be a little bit more of a mom and maybe a less of a provider. So that's where I kind of I still have those, I still shed some tears about that. But I mean, we all have a journey. And I feel like, maybe that was my part in my kids' journey, or that was the way they wanted me to support them. Because as souls, we're all here on this earth to experience certain things. And that's my belief. So if my experience or the chosen experience that I wanted was that I wanted to be able to support my children, and maybe I don't know how to be emotionally there for my kids. I don't know that. But that's what it is. And that's what it is. I've done the best I can. And I've learned to let it go at that. Because otherwise I would be bawling all day. Oh my God, I didn't do this for my kids. Oh my God, I didn't go for ice cream with them. Or oh my God, I didn't take them to a drive-in movie. There's no end to that spiral of feelings. So what I've learned with my healer is that, you did the best you could under the circumstances. And that's that.
Exactly. I agree with you. You're right. And what is really important is that you did your best to make your kids successful, to push them to where they want to go to and achieve their goals. As you didn't find someone who supported you like that, you wanted to be the support you didn't get. So I do believe that you really did a great job being a mom. And because, so many parents, well, one of them is my dad. He isn't really there for us. He isn't really I cannot say he is a bad dad, but he was an irresponsible dad. And this hurts so much, when I talk about it. But it's the truth. He didn't do what he needed to do as a dad to make us move forward and achieve our dreams. But everything was done by my mom's side, which was really hard for her since she was alone doing this. So you really did a great job. Like, it isn't a job, but I would say it's just an achievement for you as moms. Well, yeah. Well, something else, which is, I think, the last thing we're going to talk about, as we have came up to the end of the episode. So I wanted to ask you, what would you say to every single woman out there struggling to live a better life, struggling to have a clear vision about her life, or maybe a single mom and she doesn't know how to provide for her kids? What would you tell, like, these women? Just a message.
Coming from being a single mom, I would say the one thing that changed everything for me was believing in myself. I think, if I could just narrow it down to one thing, I'd have to say you have to believe in yourself. Because I think as soon as you start to believe in yourself, the world will start to believe.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
And then you can, I think one of the things I said is ask yourself the right questions. How do I do this? Not why can't I do this? Because when you ask the question that starts with a why, you're going to get answers to why you are failing. If you ask, how can I succeed at something? How can I be a podcast success? Instead of saying, why can't I start a podcast? It's just, one of the things...
I did that.
There you go, right? And one of the other things, and it's not in my program, is just one of the mirror exercise that every morning you can look, when you're brushing your teeth and stuff, just look at yourself and tell yourself, yes, just say, I love you.
I do
really,
that.
That's it. I love you.
Yeah, I love what Mel Robbins says. She says every single day, whenever you go to the mirror, just high five yourself for who you are. High fiving yourself gives you energy, gives you trust, believe in yourself. And it just shows that you really accept yourself the way you are. Yeah, I think the problem of the majority of women is that they don't get to accept themselves as they are. They always compare themselves with other women who succeeded. But what they didn't do is, do they look to the journey that successful women had before reaching success? Which is more important.
There's a very famous quote, and I hope I don't get it wrong. It's something like, people don't realize overnight success has 10 years of hard work behind them.
Exactly. I love this one. Exactly. This is what happens. And this is what I always tell, my loves. I call my community my loves because I really love them so much. And it is love driven. And I always tell them that, sometimes I share with you things here in this podcast, but what you don't get to know is, how do I live my life? I sometimes suffer, I have ups and downs, and I cannot tell you everything, but you need to know that just everyone is here for a mission, and we all have to fight to get to our destination. As you said it before, our final destination. And the more we get to a final destination, we want more. And this is life.
That's it. This is life. And we love it. It's amazing to be able to be on this earth at this time. We've chosen, guys. We've chosen to be here during these times. And that in itself is amazing, because we're still alive. There's a lot of people who lost their lives during COVID. We're still alive.
Oh my God. Yeah, when I remember that.
Right? That in itself is a gift. So make something. Believe in yourself. Love yourself. Tell yourself you love you.
Yeah. I remember the other day I said I love you in front of someone, and then that person just told me, oh my God, really? You're telling yourself I love you? I said, yeah, I do tell myself I love you. If I don't, who is going to tell me that?
That's the very first thing. That's where it starts from. I've had trouble with that. As I said to you, I have trouble with saying to myself I'm smart, because I feel like, oh, well, what right do I have to tell myself I'm smart? I've never gone to university. Now, where did that come from? If you think
You
about
needed
it.
validation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like a validation which comes from a qualification. I don't really believe that qualification is necessary to be smart or to be who you want to be, because a lot of people
I don't believe it anymore, but I've lived with that.
Oh, yeah, I understand that. Oh my God, I forgot to ask you about something. I saw that you had a picture with Tanya Robbins. I love Tanya Robbins. Like, oh my God, I can tell you how much. Like, where did you get to see him and how was it?
He is full of energy. I attended one of the events when he was in Toronto. It's called Live Your Passion. And
Live Your Passion.
Yes, I was sitting in the second row. Like, we bought most expensive tickets, right? So I went with a group of investors, and we sat in the second row because I didn't want to be in the first row because all the security and stuff is there. Like, we're talking second row from the stage, and the stage is literally like 6 feet in front of me. So when he comes down the stairs, right? So on one of the walks that he was doing, he actually gave me a hug and a kiss.
Oh my God!
I wish my friend had taken a picture, but it's like, in that moment, it's like, oh my God. It's like, you don't just think that quickly, right? How many people have camera ready? He's going to pass by me. He's going to give me a hug and a kiss. And, I always say the ticket, I think, was about $1,500 when we went to see him. So I said, I paid $1,500 for a hug and a kiss from Tony Robbins.
It's worth it.
It was worth it. It was worth it because it's not just the hug and the kiss. It's just what you get elevated to.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. So that picture is, and when I was taking a picture with him, he put his arm around me and he goes, "You are such a small," because he's like giant. He's like,
he is.
Giant. And I'm 5'2", and I think he's like 7 or something, right? And he put his arm around me and he goes, "You're such a small package. We could take you anywhere." I was like, "Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go."
Oh my God! And it was his wife there, Sage. She was there.
This is like in front of 10,000 people. I don't know if she was in the background.
Oh yeah,
I don't
because
know.
She's always there, and she is also so wise.
So sweet,
oh my God! Yeah, I really aim at being in one of his trainings one day for sure. No doubt about it.
I'm sure you will. No, it was really cool. It was really, really, really cool. Just see. I'll give you one of the podcasts that I did with, I can't remember his last name. It was Paul. It was a person in UK. Oh, my perfect failure was
perfect failure.
Yes, a question he asked me was, if you could invite 3 people for dinner, who would you invite? And I was like, oh, that's a very loaded question, right? So, do you want to hear what my answer was?
Yeah, I do.
So I said one was Mandela, Mr. Mandela. I was in South Africa a couple of years ago. And I went to his home where he lived, which is now a museum, right? And then second was Gandhi.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Right. And for me, those 2 people, I feel like they moved masses. And I would actually put Tony Robbins third, but I said my mom, because she gives me the strength to do what I do. Like, my dad's no longer with us, but my mom is my biggest cheerleader. She's like, "Oh, you're doing good. Keep going. Keep going. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here."
Yeah. You're lucky that you had a mom who supports you too. Okay. This is why you support your kid as well. Your kids. Sorry. Yeah. Oh my God. I think we really had an amazing moment, an amazing moment filled with positive energies and happiness and laughters. I really appreciate this, and I'm feeling so grateful, as my community does too. They really feel grateful for having you here. I'm sure about that. They're going to love everything we talked about.
Thank you.
And I don't know. Do you want to say anything before? I would like to invite you guys to. I'm going to link your website's link, as well as. Do you have an Instagram account? Because I do have you on Facebook.
It's called Millionaire Official.
So I'm going to put the link just up there, like in the description, and I would invite you guys to check out her program, which is a bomb. I'm sure about that. Yeah, we're gonna talk about this together. Maybe, I really would like to learn more about it. And do you want to say anything, Sadhana?
I think I'm going to go back to when you said to me, what's my message that I'd like to tell everybody. Like I said, just believe in yourself, guys. You are capable of doing everything you want to. One of the things that I have on my desk, it's like a sticker, and that says, desire is the higher calling. So if you have a desire to do something, it's because you're already equipped with the necessities that you need to do that. So if you have a desire to be a podcaster, that's because God has already equipped you to be a podcaster. So you're not going to get that desire in your head unless God has already equipped you. So if you're listening to this program, this podcast, it's because you already have everything you need to be a real estate investor. Otherwise, you would not be drawn to this program.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. You're absolutely right. And so believe in you guys. I do believe in you. We do believe in you, Sadhana and I. We believe in you a lot. So just go and do it. So thank you guys for tuning in till the end of this episode. If you did like what we talked about, please leave a comment and a review so that we can move forward and keep sharing with you our knowledge, and your support is going so much appreciated. So thank you so much, my loves. You take care. Remember, I love you so much. Do you love them, Sadhana?
Me too. I was gonna say I love them too. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
Oh yeah, you see, you've got so much love from us. So really make it happen. We trust you. Yes. So thank you so much, guys. And I'm sending you so much kisses and love. See you in the next episode. Bye.